Welcome to Subaru Park as we get set for kickoff as Philadelphia Union 2 plays host to New England Revolution 2 on match day 24. Sixth meeting between these clubs. Revolution have won each of the first two meetings this season. Hi again, everybody. Michael Watring with our entire crew, joining you on a Sunday evening as you take a look at the league table. Revolution, one of the three teams that has clinched a playoff position, while Philadelphia is just below the playoff line right now. But if they can hold serve at home, they might be able to move into the playoff picture, as it's really a four-team, maybe a five-team race in the Eastern Conference for one of those final playoff positions. Should be a fascinating match. The last time these clubs met up, it was a 3-1 lead for Philly Union 2 in the 70th minute. And then all of a sudden, Revolution scored 3 times in the final quarter hour and picked up a 4-3 victory. So Philly has their sights set on some revenge from that prior meeting. And we'll find out today if indeed they are able to get that, as we take a look at a Philly Union lineup that has 4 changes for Marlon LeBlanc's group. One of those changes, and this group is not the goalkeeper, as Andrew Rick is out there yet again. This is his 14th start of the season. He has seen a lot of shot attempts of late and has had to make 5 saves or more in 5 of the last 8 matchups. As that's Marlon LeBlanc's starting 11 this evening for Philly Union 2. And we're just about ready to kick things off here. It's a great night for action here in Chester, Pennsylvania. As you take a look at the starting 11 for New England Revolution 2. Likewise, 4 changes as well in this group, but Jordan Adebayo-Smith, one of the league's leading goal scorers, who scored a goal in 7 of the last 12 matches, is up top for the second best scoring unit in the league. So what happens here tonight? Should be a fun matchup between these two clubs, as Revs 2 looking to make it a 10th consecutive unbeaten, as they have not lost in regulation in 70 days, while the Union are looking to avoid their second 3-match skid this season. We are underway here on a Sunday evening. Revolution and Union squaring off on match day 24. So we'll see how these clubs come out at the start. They've both been teams that have been excellent as matches have gone along. It's Revolution going from left to right, Union going right to left. Dark jerseys for Philly and the white uniforms for New England here this evening. Long ball sent left to right. These two teams will get after it. 2 of the top 7 scoring teams in the league this year. Will we see much of the same here tonight? Problem for the Union is they've given up a good chunk of goals this season. 6 most in the league, just 3 clean sheets for Marlon LeBlanc's group. Speaking with Marcelo Santos, the assistant for Revs 2, he talked about, despite the fact that they have clinched the playoff berth, they still have their sights set on getting as many points as they can, because their last match of the year is against Crown Legacy. That's the #1 team in the East. And perhaps there could be something to play for there in the final match of the season. While the Union are trying to get above the playoff line, trying to surge here at the end. They are in desperate need of points here this evening, having lost back-to-back matches after they had rattled off wins in 5 of 7. Left wing, it goes Juan Castillo. Flips it forward, just out of the reach of Jeremy Raffanello. Along this right side, it's picked up by Escobar, but not long enough. Castillo goes down. Philly asking for a foul. There is no whistle. Westfield pierces it through the middle. Escobar can't handle it. Running start for Raffanello. It's to the top of the 18. Curls wide. Tucker slots it backwards. Westfield this time. Now Tucker once more. Raffanello twirling around. Heaving one to this left side, and it is nearly out of the reach of Olney, and indeed it does end up going out for a goal kick. Philadelphia starting 6 teenagers this evening. New England starting 3. Oldest man on the pitch is the 26-year-old Jake Rosenski, third-year pro for Revs 2. Souza. Skies it to the middle of the field. Escobar retreats. Bodies collide. JC Griggs, our official this evening. That was a beautiful pass there in the middle by Chris Donovan. The foul whistled, however, after the interception. Penayotu, wide left. Revs in attack. Penayotu curls it in, but it's easily controlled by Andrew Rick. Here it is again. You see the give and go passing. Penayotu able to fire it in. He was looking in the middle there for Adebayo Smith. He has been on a torrid pace this season. Have to keep an eye on him at any given time. You're in the 5th minute. Expect scoring out of this match. One of the 2 matches currently going on a jam-packed evening here on a Sunday in match day 24. Jay Olney. Nice tap forward. Raffanello pings it around, can't control. And now Campuzano has to send it wide left. You can see the energy and the intensity early in this match. High pressure from Philly Union, making it very difficult for the Revs to get out of their own end, but they do so right now. And there's speed as well for Leal. Escobar takes his defender 1v1. Escobar tees it up, and it's well over everybody. Not a bad thought, though, from Olger Escobar, the U17 MLS Next MVP. Sends that one high. 16 years of age. So fun about this league is seeing the growth of a lot of these players from the start of the season until now, and a lot of these players as well representing in those next competitions, the U17s, Generation Adidas Cup, etc. They get their opportunity in these big facilities to make an impact, and they're that close from getting opportunities with the first team. Lagunic skies it wide right. A high arcing bender. It's handled by Kaye. Ricocheting ball goes out. Last touch by Revs 2. Speaking with Marcelo Santos, he talked about the fact that Revs 2 has had a consistent lineup over this unbeaten string that has reached 9. And when you have that level of consistency, it makes a massive difference, particularly at this stage of the season, as teams are counting down the days left in the year. Union will have 4 remaining matches after this, and the Revs will have 3 more to go. That's a good sign if you're the Union to have that extra game in your pocket as you try to make that push for the playoffs. And you look at the league table. Huntsville, though, with all those home matches, will they be able to take care of business on their home facility after starting the year with so many road contests as they waited for Joe Davis Stadium to be ready for play? Foul whistled. Peyton Miller, the violator, youngest man on the pitch tonight at 15. Raffanello, a bit slow to get up. New England has won 3 of the first 5 meetings between these two clubs. 5-1 in New England on April 10th and a 4-3 comeback win here in Philadelphia on May 21st. Curls towards the top of the 18. Raffanello does an excellent job to get it down. Can't hold on to it long enough, however. Brzezinski. Vasquez turns. The initial target. It's a second crack at it, but fires it right to the back line of Revolution. Bio Smith goes back to send it to Souza. Now the build will start. Combined this year, these two teams have scored 94 goals. Union tied for 7th. Vasquez gets it back, curls it out wide. Olney in the box. Olney gets to the right foot. It bangs off of a couple defenders and slowly trickles into the hands of Nico Campuzano. 25-year-old, grew up in Spain, played collegiately at Pittsburgh. So he's very familiar with Pennsylvania this time of the year. This would be around the time that the Panthers would be kick-starting the regular season. And his side of the field currently in the sun. Will that play a factor at any point? Olma. Leal. She hasn't seen a lot of the ball in their attacking half. Souza waiting. Now a long ball directly played. Good running start for Quinones. Can't quite get the cross into Adebayo Smith. The ball looked like it went out. It did not go out for a corner. That is very fortuitous. Macania. Leal back to it. This time does beat Macania. It comes loose. The ball was nestled right through there, and Andrew Rick couldn't close it down. Fortunate his teammate was able to clear. A running race the other way. Calle draws the foul. Marcelo Santos spoke very highly of Pierre Calle. Steady. Talks about the progress that he has made from the start of the season until now, and thinks that if you forward the clock 1 year from today, you'll be able to look at this progress as a big reason why he's been able to take that large step forward. And that's one of those players that has been so consistent for Revs too. Leal comes wide right. Escobar likes to switch the field. High arcing ball. Adebayo Smith. Excellent touch. Does carry him a little bit further. However, Quinones. Rosensky. And there is a foul this time. David Vasquez on the backside. The third-year player for Revs 2. Jake Rosensky. As the restart. Souza. Point right now. He's the decision maker for Revs 2. Likes to fire it to Escobar. Bolma. Give and go. Castillo, though, gets right back to it. That ball takes a deflection. Adebayo Smith. Fortuitous for Union 2 is Owetu Maganya. Newer signings for this club. South Africa was able to get his foot in the way of one of the elite goal scorers that this league has. Here in the 14th minute, our first corner. Rosensky readies. Doesn't get a lot of that. In fact, can't even beat the first man. Counter was on for a half a second, but Bolma steps up to intercept. Penyotu. Adebayo Smith thinking. Takes a bump that puts him in a good position. Adebayo Smith doesn't hit that as well as he would have liked, and it gets picked up by Andrew Rick. 15th minute of action, scoreless between Philadelphia and New England. The first two meetings between these clubs have featured 13 goals between them. New England winning both. With our entire crew, Michael Watring, great to have you on board here on MLSNextPro.com. Kyle Tucker, collegiately at Drexel, spins it for Raffanello. He can go right back to Tucker if he wants. Instead, takes aim! It hits the crossbar. Campuzano saves the first. And the second ball goes over the top of the crossbar from Vasquez. A couple great chances. Raffanello had so many choices, elected to shoot. Campuzano got the first, and then Vasquez can't hit the cage. Boy, that was a blistering effort from Raffanello. Played just one season at Penn State, has scored 7 times this year. You know he can put it away from anywhere. Hit a whole lot of goal-scoring chances until these last couple moments. One giveaway and one blast from Raffanello. That ball trickle out of play on the sideline. This portion of the match is brought to you by Subaru of America. Adebayo Smith galloping. Backpedaling into the box is Rick. One other game currently going on right now, and that is FC Cincinnati. Thanks to Castellano scoring in the 31st minute, leading NYC 1-0. This game should feature some scoring. And we have seen some glimmers here in the last couple minutes after a slower start than you might have expected between two sides that can score as well as any team in the league. Leal measures. Escobar's been a focal point in the attack. Rosensky wide left. In the box it goes, and the sprawling header is cleared out. And a corner coming again, and it's from the same location as the last one. Penyotu thought about taking it, instead gives way to Rosansky. Boomeranging ball coming in. This is a better service. Leal was the closest man to it, and it was last touched by the Union. Third corner in the last 3 minutes. Leal at 6'1", number 38 in white was the target that time around. Where does Rosansky go this time? Fires it into the 18, and no white jersey leap that time. It's cleared away. Pressure amping up here for Revs 2. A team that is unbeaten in its last 9. 4 wins, 5 draws. They have not lost in regulation since June 18th. Confidence has grown so significantly for this Revs 2 unit, clinching a playoff berth last week. One of the 3 in the league, the others being Crown Legacy and Colorado Rapids 2. Souza retreats. And Okaye slithers through the middle. It's a good position for Penyotu. Dribbling is Bulma. He goes down, partially because his last touch forced him to accelerate a little too far. And when I spoke with Marlon LeBlanc earlier this season, he talked about the challenges that this league has in terms of the consistent lineup changes, and all told, you look at the unit, 4 different starters today. I think had that ball deflected, is fortunate to get it out. But he also talked about the benefits that you have because you have so many young players that get opportunities to go from MLS Next to MLS Next Pro, and then with chances with the first team, be it through the US Open Cup, the Leagues Cup, or with just first team call-ups and being a part of the group as a substitute. And when you're training with those players, you watch them grow throughout the year, and this is another season in which you have that, and every coach will echo the sentiment. You love the regular season, but you want to see them get into the playoffs. Watch that growth. Adebayo Smith tried to find Leal. It was a well-timed deflection by Castillo. Ball takes a bit of a piece from Quinones. And that ball sails out of play. But what he talked about as well is getting an opportunity to expose a lot of these young men to the pro team. This is Marlon LeBlanc talking about this. You get to expose them to the pro environment at a very young age. And there's certainly the psychology behind it where they need to have the success within their own age group if they're on the younger side playing in MLS Next Cup. Raffanello gets his team a corner. And there's opportunities as well with MLS Next Pro where they get a look at players that are a little bit older, a little bit more physically mature. Now here we go. The Union's first corner attempt, each team with 3 shots, each team with 1 shot on target. 3 corners from Revs 2, and the first for the Union here in the 22nd minute. Where does this left-footed ball end up? Boomerangs, back post effort. It is headed back along, still loose in the 18. Bicycled out, only as far as Raffanello, who had a shot saved and hit off the crossbar in the 15th minute. Another bender back in, the defense tidy for the Revs. Raffanello again! Was that last touch by New England? Indeed it was. Raffanello is starting to find crevices and showing his skill set. Here it is once more. Doesn't matter where he is on the field. He can hit one with vengeance at any time. Unfortunate are the Revs that Kaye was in there. This cross comes in. Nobody will get to this one. And it will go out for a goal kick. This portion of the match is brought to you by WSFS Bank. Things starting to boil here at Subaru Park. After these two sides didn't take shots in the first 10 minutes, we're starting to see more and more chances come to the surface. It feels like we're just a matter of time before an opening goal. That's a fine ball. Pace behind Peyton Martin or Miller as well, but he cannot beat Magana. Ends up going back for Rick. He sends it forward. Vasquez, pretty touch to keep it. Well, that produced something here for the Union. And again, galloping forward. Vasquez trying to get there in time. He was the intended target of that pass, and it goes out. Tucker. And another corner coming. Rescuing a ball. Corner from the same spot they had their first two. Boomeranging ball into the 18. It is Magana. They got a piece of it. Philadelphia Union Sporting Director Ernst Tanner said that he's an explosive, athletic player that can play center back in either a 4 or 3 back system. There's another phase of his game that could certainly grow in time for the 19-year-old at 6 feet 1 inches tall. He can come soaring in at any time and provide a game breaker. The ball patiently waited on by Panayotu and drifts it. Bulma off the bar. Adebayo Smith had a second go at it and sends it high. Inches away from a New England early goal. This was terrific passing. Panayotu slithered it through the defense, and Bulma, the number 4 overall pick in the draft, inches away from starting the scoring. In the 28th minute we roll now. 0-0 still. New England is unbeatable this year if they score first. They've taken points all 14 times in which they've done so on the year. through the opening 24 matches. That's the challenge that the Union have here tonight as they try to get the first goal of the evening. But now defending. Bulma, Leal. It's Bulma sprinting again along the left wing. Gets the edge. Again. It's a great example of what Marlon LeBlanc was saying about exposing somebody to a pro environment and giving them an opportunity to have that confidence, the 17-year-old. His decision making quick to get his team in the attack. Raffanello. Defense responded. Leal thought that he was fouled. There is no whistle. Raffanello clips this into the 18. Back line, specifically the back two. Souza and Kaye held sturdy for New England. Escobar nearly curled it in between the back line that Adebayo Smith was trying to break. This pass will be out of the reach of Raffanello. Marcelo Santos talked about last week against Toronto. A match that was 0-0 at the end and a 4-1 PK victory for this New England side. He said that in the first half they had opportunities to get in behind and just didn't use those chances. So I'd give a lot of credit to Toronto. They limited spaces that they normally found, and it was the first time that the group had gone without a goal since July 2nd. And also they had to go to Pens against Huntsville and win 5-4. Olney. Surveys space, this ball banged into the box. And Rosensky carries it forward. Bulma able to get back past Macania. Half hour in the books, 0-0 between the Union and the Revolution. Michael Watring and our entire crew spending our Saturdays with you. You're enjoying your day so far. And grateful to have you with us here on MLSNextPro.com. Will we get a goal in the final quarter hour of this first half? Vasquez spins it all the way around. Castillo. Olney. Castillo. Ball stays in bounds, even though Campuzano said that it didn't. Ending ball back into the 18. Quinones just taps it away, and a fourth corner coming up here for Philadelphia. Revs have not put a shot on target so far, while the Union have two. Their fourth corner of the night sets up on the left-hand side for the first time. Curling hard rocket in. Once again, the intended target was Macania. It's a throw this time and not a corner, as Miller was the first man to it. Westfield, the 17-year-old, named the MLS Next Pro Rising Star just a couple weeks ago with his first career goal against NYCFC 2. Drills this into the 18, and it bounces harmlessly to Campuzano. Campuzano getting the start tonight. And Marcelo Santos saying that this group has confidence in Nico as well as Jacob Jackson. Tucker gets it out wide right. Vasquez charges. Vasquez tees it up. It's just wide right. We're seeing why Philadelphia leads the league in goals scored outside of the 18-yard box this year. Raffanelo's hit a couple with good pace, and this one as well. The pace behind it, the power, the location. Makes it a challenge. Campuzano might have had it covered, but nevertheless, at the very least, see what the keeper is doing. This portion of the match is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. The ability for Philadelphia to strike a ball anywhere on the pitch forces the defense and the keeper to be alert. Adebayo Smith matches onto this ball. Rosansky just passes it through the middle, and it's intercepted by Raffanello. There's three defenders around him, waits for reinforcements. And a foul is whistled against Raffanello. And frustration obvious right now for the 23-year-old from New Jersey. Let's take another look at this. J.C. Griggs had as good a look as anybody did. And Raffanello still having words after the fact. That shuts down the Union's attack. It was promising. All as that ball skip up on him. It's given away. Pretty good flexibility by Donovan, but can't hold on to it long enough. Five more matches have just kicked off in MLS Next Pro, so we have 7 currently going on, and we're thankful to have you elect to choose your time to spend with us here for New England and Philadelphia. Olney wide left, slots it through. Castillo cuts off his angle, but slings it through. Ends up finding Tucker. Doesn't get it past Miller, and elects to keep it in play on the touchline. Raffanello, goes to Rojas. Vasquez. Castillo debates. Funnels. Gets it back. And was he the last to touch? Yes, he was. Goal kick. You're just seeing the difference right now with what the Union are able to produce in their attack with a variety of options. New England just has not seen as much in the attack as Philadelphia has. 5-4 shots advantage right now for the Union. 2-0 in shots on target. Escobar. Leal again has that ball bounce up into a bad spot. Quinones is fouled by Vasquez. A pair of 41s canceling each other out, and Quinones will restart it. And when you look at the series history between these clubs through the first 5 meetings, a good chunk of the activity does happen in the second half. 12 of the 22 goals that have been scored between these sides have come in half number 2, including 8 of the 12 scored by New England. Revolution won in this building earlier this season, but last year, almost a year ago to the day, it was Philadelphia dominating 5-1. Olney glances around and sends it back. Vasquez. See Griggs getting in the way. It doesn't matter for Tucker. Lays it off Raffanello. Bending ball into the 18. Stumbling down, Quinones. Vasquez was arguing his case that it was Quinones that had taken him out. Raffanello again is in there having a word. 39th minute, scoreless still. Adebayo Smith, look at that strength and speed. The league's 5th leading goal scorer. What a pass to Bolma. Bolma! 1-0 New England. Adebayo Smith, a delightful pass and a majestic strike from Bolma opens the scoring in the 40th minute. Oh, that was pristine in so many ways. Adebayo Smith, known for his goal scoring. You can't wait to pass any better. And it's Bolma from 19 yards away, piercing the cords. That is as good as it gets. You will find very few, and it's not even just the goal, it's the pass that gets everybody excited. Everybody was admiring the pass that Messi had last night for Inter Miami that set up the goal. And people should admire this one from Adebayo Smith as well. A strike from New England. It is the 15th time this season that they have scored first. 9 wins, 5 draws. And they score first on the year. Raffanello. Tucker back for Raffanello. Union looking for a quick response. Near side, Castillo bends it into the 18. Kai, the first man to it. No foul is whistled. And a U2. For Bolma, that's his second goal in the last 3 weeks. Just a delightful sequence right there. Adebayo Smith with his team-leading 5th assist of the year as well. Adebayo Smith, 12 goals, 5 assists, and now Bolma his 14th match of the year with his second goal. Give him some space like that, and you see a reason why after 2 years. In college, he's the number 4 pick. Souza. Bounced around by Donovan. Miller. Campuzano has to go a long way back. He leaves the net exposed as he goes down. Donovan was trying to go right back to Olney. He's going to go quickly enough to find something. And then there's a big shove after the fact by Donovan. And Donovan will be shown a yellow card as bodies get tangled up here in the 43rd minute. There's Rosansky down. Here's another look at that last sequence. Donovan gets undercut. He takes exception to it and comes up with a two-handed shove of Rosansky. Definitely looked inadvertent on that first pass from Rosansky. And now Raffanello is having a word with J.C. Griggs, asking why there isn't more discipline being handed out with all the perceived slights that he's had and that he's seen. And now Chris Donovan gets a chat. J.C. Griggs filling out his paperwork. And part of the reason why. A bit of a stoppage here. Rosansky is asking J.C. Griggs perhaps why there isn't more than just the yellow. And for J.C. Griggs as well, I'm sure part of this is let's let cooler heads prevail. Give each side a chance to catch their breath. Philadelphia keeping eyes on Red Bulls in Chicago. That's the team they're trying to chase in the standings. Got to keep an eye on NYCFC2 as well, directly in your rear view. 2 minutes of stoppage time here in this first half. Castillo through the middle. Raffanello is taken away. He goes to the ground. Bomba is down, and now a foul is whistled after the fact. Well, Red Bulls have scored against Chicago. Cabezas in the 8th minute has opened the scoring. And FC Cincinnati has added a goal as well. They're up 2-0 in the 58th minute. Here's where the foul is, right there. It wasn't on that initial contact with Bulma. So about midway through our minimum stoppage time. Bulma's goal in the 40th minute. Have the Revs on top. 1-0. Couple headed balls. Adebayo Smith is able to get the edge for a moment. And then he's whistled for the foul. As Hugo Legwinick, the rookie out of Rutgers, goes down. Well, if the Union are to score in the first half, they'll more than likely have to be on this sequence. And they have to go quickly. Trailing by a goal. A team that's lost back-to-back. Olney. Vasquez sends it in. It goes out. It's a corner. It'll already be the 5th of the half. Here's another look at it. Vasquez giving chase. That ball in. It's a good look. Souza in there first to step away. And this indeed will be the last chance of the first half. Bending ball in, flicked on, and then out. Raffanello aims from distance, but right at Campuzano. Likely that is how the opening half. We'll see this one come to an end. Although you did have that lengthy sequence for the chat. Griggs will allow play to extend to that kick, and that's how the opening half comes to a close. 45 minutes in the books here at Subaru Park. And New England, looking for a 10th consecutive unbeaten, has a 1-0 edge at halftime, thanks to Chris Bolma's second goal of the season off an Adebayo Smith assist. 1-0, Revolution on top of the Union. The league's top team in the West, Colorado Rapids 2, made rapid improvements in this turnaround from last season. Michelle had a chance to catch up with Rapids head coach Eric Boucher.
Diego Rubio having one! Diego Rubio! We're back in the mix, a second header, and there's a second goal. It is Cabral. 11 on the season for Remy Cabral, and Colorado leads 2-0.
I am absolutely thrilled to be joined by the coach atop the West, Eric Boucher. Eric, thank you for sitting down with us.
Certainly welcome.
Now, you and I met many moons ago. There's been a drastic change for your club between when we first met and now here we are in season 2.
True.
What do you attribute that to?
It's probably not possible to put a finger on one thing. If I could, I'd bottle it up and try to make something from it. But we had to learn a lot last year. We had to suffer a lot, to be fair, last year in a soccer sense. And it's interesting, I read something this morning, no kidding, that was about the struggle and what it can mean for you and how it's necessary, and we had to do plenty of that last season. So I think that carries over into what we try to create this season. We obviously had a much better lead-in this year, more organization, more preparation in terms of our preseason, and even developing our roster, and so that was significant. In fairness to the guys who are helping us get the success this year, we've brought in some good personalities and good soccer players, you know, and I don't think it's possible to win without personality in the group. We have a few guys that fit into that in a pretty positive way. Remy Cabral has been really a wonderful addition, but it's hard to go again into individuals. The guys have come together quite well, and that is probably the biggest reason why we're getting some success.
Off the post and it goes in! An early goal for Colorado Rapids 2.
Part of your job is managing all of those personalities. How do you navigate the intricacies of a locker room where you're sometimes starting academy players over contracted professionals?
Well, the contract or the size of it doesn't necessarily depict the player. And we have good players, amateur and pro alike. I think the guys have an understanding also that we have different goals or multiple goals within our program and within our team. And again, that's part of what has so far made the team special. When guys see that they can win with different players on the field, they can still be supportive of the guys who are doing the job. So it's been a good mix. And to be fair, the players deserve a lion's share of the credit. They have to be the ones who are flexible.
You guys are winning, but at the end of the day, this is also a development league. So how much emphasis is put on bringing back a trophy versus getting these guys up to the first team and beyond?
A lot. Not so much the trophy, but every game we discuss winning. I think that's what players would rather have a focus on getting 3 points on the weekend than just talking about development every day. We're still pushing the players to move up levels. We still want guys to get in the first team. And yes, that is the major focus. But to make such a clear distinction between that and winning is just not something that I believe in, because I think they're best if they go hand in hand.
We're a little over halfway through the season. What's been your favorite thing so far this year?
It's been wonderful to see players and staff, I would add, believe in what we're doing, gain confidence, you know, from that belief, and then enjoy their work. When you see people happy, you know, when they're motivated to come into the work environment, a lot of good can come from that. I know there's an elite component and then the individual player component, but I really enjoy the aspect of seeing people smiling at work and willing to get after it every day. That's a part of who we are.
Well, hopefully the smiling continues for the rest of this season. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and for hopefully what is to come, a great rest of the season for you.
Thank you, Michelle.
A goal in the 40th minute by Chris Balma has New England leading Philadelphia by 1-0 tally at halftime, and Revolution 2 joined Crown Legacy in Colorado as teams in the playoffs last weekend. Michelle and Samara have more to recap it in Matchday Rewind.
Another week of MLS Next Pro action, another step closer to finding out who's playing in the postseason. Alongside Samara, I'm Michelle with your Matchday 23 Rewind.
We start in New England, where Revs 2 joined Crown Legacy FC and Rapids 2 as the third team to clinch a playoff spot. They were scoreless against Toronto FC2 after 90 minutes, but Clint PA's side ended up winning the shootout 4-1 to secure 2 points and, more importantly, a playoff spot.
Staying in the Eastern Conference, right behind Revs 2 in the standings, Columbus Crew 2. Facing their in-state rival, FC Cincinnati 2, the Cappies saw 5 different players find the back of the net. One of those 5 was Patrick Buhi, who scored in his Crew 2 debut. Now the reigning MLS Next Pro champs are one step closer to clinching the playoffs, as are Huntsville City FC. Jack Collison's side made their way just above the playoff line following a timely 5-2 win over Union 2. The outstanding team effort extended their unbeaten home streak to 3 as we take a look at what is a very tight playoff race in the East. There could be a lot of movement within the playoff pecking order in the coming weeks.
Moving out to the Western Conference, Austin FC2 are currently tied in second and close to clinching a playoff spot, but they'll have to wait at least another week as they were tied at 1 at the end of regulation with Whitecaps FC2, but ultimately ended up losing the shootout 4-3. And now, just 3 points below them in the standings is Tacoma Defiance, who also found themselves tied at the end of regulation. However, they were able to defeat North Texas SC 6-5 in kicks from the penalty mark. Here's how the standings currently look in the West. As you can see, a couple of teams are close to punching their ticket, and then there are some who'll be looking over their shoulder for the remaining weeks.
One more shootout coming at you from the match day. This one courtesy of a stoppage time goal from Matthew Myers. He pulled NYCFC 2 level with Chicago Fire 2 at 2 goals apiece at the end of regulation to force the shootout. Fire 2 went on to win the extra point on 5 kicks to 4, but still a late goal by Myers puts him in sole first in the Golden Boot race with 16 goals on the season. As you can see, the race is heating up as we go down the stretch.
There's still a lot to be determined as we enter match day 24 of the regular season. Michelle and I will see you back here with the latest drama leading to the playoffs.
For the 15th time this season, New England has scored first against its opponent, and it's a 1-0 lead against Philadelphia. Here was the best from match day 23 as Michelle has this week's Spotlight.
MLS Next Pro's Match Day 23 features a new set of faces in the spotlight. I'm Michelle Montaigne with the stars that shined brightest this match day. Starting with your MLS Next rising star of Match Day 23, LA Galaxy 2's Riley Delgado. The 17-year-old defender helped his side to a clean sheet against Real Monarchs and successfully converted his kick from the spot in the shootout, helping Galaxy 2 to a historic 10-9 shootout win to keep their playoff hopes alive.
But the stars were also shining bright over there on the East Coast. None brighter than Huntsville City FC's Azad Liati, who is your player of match day 23. With his 3-goal performance against Union 2, Liati recorded the first hat trick in club history. He extended his team best goal total to 11, becoming the first player to double digits for his team this season. But despite his individual success, he was still focused on the team after the game.
For me, it's always special to score a hat trick, but first and foremost, we're happy to get the result. I mean, JetBlue's coming in that every game from here on out, it's the Cup final, so 1 down, 5 more to go, and that's how we're looking at it to make the playoffs.
Also finding the back of the net this week, our best goal of the match day winner, St. Louis City 2's John Klein. The goal-scoring machine extended his streak to 4 straight games with his brace this week against Timbers 2. This shot made its way through the box, bouncing off defenders and attacking players alike before it found its way to the foot of Klein, who lasered it through traffic and into the back of the net. And while Best Goal nominee Useni Buddha didn't win the individual award, his team, Quakes 2, is walking away as our best team of match day 23. Now, Buddha did open the scoring for Quakes 2 before the side let Dynamo Dos score 3 unanswered to take a 3-1 lead into the half. But the second 45 was all San Jose as Quakes 2 mounted a 3-goal comeback to ultimately take a 4-3 victory. The decisive match allowed the team of the match day to leapfrog Houston in the table and climb to 5th in the West. Congratulations to all of our honorees in the spotlight this week. As the playoff push continues, the performances continue to rise. Excited to see who stands out on match day 24.
Looking to sweep the regular season series against Philadelphia. New England leads it 1-0. Friday, the biggest result came in Texas, where Austin FC hosted Sporting Kansas City. Here are those highlights.
Kip Keller returns. The 22-year-old center back will replace the youngster Anthony Deanda and SKC, the only remaining players from that 1-0 win over Minnesota. Another in-swinger from Toure. Good depth on this one. It's headed in. Duke for Hernandez. He lays this off. The shot comes on. It's in. And what a strike that is. It's their second of the game. This one's whipped in. The flick header's in the corner. Kilo to Shandret scores. Right through the middle. Hafferty for Burton. And it's cleared away. And that is it. Just the second team to come to Austin and come away with 3 points. Sporting Kansas City 2 get the job done.
New England has the lead against Philadelphia by a 1-0 tally at the break. And we take a look at the upcoming schedule. Just one game next Saturday, but a solid night of activities on Friday, including New England and Huntsville in the early window. And Sunday, again, another jam-packed weekend. Philadelphia and NYCFC 2. That'll be a huge one for Philadelphia. Time to take a look at the first half highlights from this match. And although it took maybe a few minutes for these two teams to get into a little bit of a rhythm, we certainly found a great deal of chances as time went on. Here's Bolma finding Benayutu. He fired one in, and it was pretty comfortably handled by Andrew Rick. Both sides were struggling to find some space, but here Raffanello said, I don't need a lot of space. I'll take aim. And Campazano got just enough of a piece on the 15th minute shot attempt. Vasquez ended up sending one high and over everything. And shots from outside the 18 continue to be consistent. Raffanello striking this one in there on the 23rd minute. Led to a corner kick opportunity. A header from Macania was covered up by Campazano. And Revolution started to find Bolma. He started to find himself in some space. This time, rattled the cage. Adebayo sent it over the top. But those two would play the key fixture later on in this match. Here was Vasquez striking one from outside of the 18. Pretty good looking shot, but just wide of Campuzano, and this was the moment. How about Adebayo Smith? A great turn, an even better pass after 2 touches. Somehow hooked it around that one defender. Bulma struck and stretched the strings with a solid strike from just outside of the 18. And that allowed this New England side to take the advantage by a 1-0 tally. Here's your first half stats. New England more possession, Union more shot attempts, but it is a 1-0 lead for the Revolution at the break. So there's your score at halftime. And now we will see how this second half activities turn out. Last time these clubs met here, it was a 2-goal lead for Philly late in that second half, and eventually it turned in to a 4-3 New England win. So let's see if maybe there's a flip of the script this time around and maybe a Union second half comeback. Or if it holds up and stays true to form here today. Michael Watring and our entire crew, grateful to have you on board for this contest here tonight as New England leads 1-0 and the second half is underway here from Subaru Park. Galloping run here from Olney. Fires it through the top of the 6, and it is handled and spiked out. Ball gets canceled out, and it slides over to this side. Leal takes some steps forward. Is it taken away? A foul given, and a card shown as well. Benayutu had shown the first yellow given out to a Revolution player so far here in the opening moments.
Ladies and gentlemen, a yellow card caution was issued to New England's number 22, Jack Panayuto. Caution occurred in the 47th minute.
Castillo just runs out of real estate this time as he is hustling along the sideline. Let's see how these two sides come out of the locker room. Is it still the similar aggression from this New England unit? They settle in perhaps a little bit. Trying to defend the rest of the way. Good work by Leal. Letting an offender slide by. Adebayo Smith the target. Not enough on the pass, however. Rojas. Castillo goes wide left this time. Cross comes in. It actually finds itself all the way through. 2 Revolution defenders missed. Alertly, though, Campuzano put an end to that. Here it is again. This ball seemed harmless from Olney. And at the last second, Campuzano had to get there after it ended up finding its way to his hands. Olney again hustling after this, won't catch up. This season, New England 9 wins, 5 draws, no losses when scoring the opening goal. It's Philadelphia, the team that can hand them a loss in regulation. The Revs continue on this lengthy unbeaten string that sits at 9 entering the night. Bulma, the goal scorer, looks to go left, and fine defensive work this time around from Francis Westfield. Stood right in front of him, didn't even allow a shot to come off. measured around the league. Chicago and Red Bulls are tied at 2. That's in the 37th minute. FC Cincy 2 leads 2-0 against NYC. That's in the 80th minute now. Vasquez thought about pulling the trigger. Instead, Raffanella will get a touch. Spike it into the 18. It's sent right back where it came, and that's where all the Union players were. Adebayo Smith. Olma again. Now we get a whistle because back behind the play, one of the Revs players is on his backside. Updating some of those scores from around the league. FC Cincinnati 2-0 leaders. Pinto has added one in the 53rd minute. San Jose leads at St. Louis 1-0 in the 37th minute. Blockus has scored in the 22nd. And Huntsville leading Inter Miami 1-0. Skinner scoring in the 11th minute. And it's the Galaxy, Los Dos. Debo scoring in the 20th minute, leading at Houston. Orlando and Columbus are scoreless. And that 2-2 match between New York and Chicago. Back and forth they go there. What happened on that last sequence. The header came across, and it was really not anything involving Olger Escobar, but he went down after he saw that his team was able to clear that ball. Temperatures tonight here in Philadelphia, not bad, 82 degrees. And a couple changes will be made for the Revs right now. It'll be Marcos Diaz as well as Malcolm Fry coming in. Escobar and Leal are coming out. Subs taking place now in the 52nd minute.
Substitution, leaving the match number 38, Patrick Leal. Entering the match number 39, Marcos Diaz.
Changes made in the 52nd minute. Some fresh reinforcements for Clint P's side. Castillo will be the first man to it here as Fry, the intended target of the pass. As soon as he came on the pitch. Revolution have qualified for the postseason for the first time in its 4-year history as a club. Second in MLS Next Pro after being in the USL. Prior to that, the team riding the longest active unbeaten string in the league. Has this 1-0 edge, but the Union have their sights set on an equalizer. Bolma taken down. Westfield fouled. Miller will restart it. Marcelo Santos, the assistant, spoke highly of Miller. Talked about the fact that he took a massive step forward. Didn't think that he would play as many minutes, but has taken an opportunity from game 1 and hasn't looked back as he's been a consistent cog in this starting 11. Fry able to get a piece. This will certainly work out as Souza funnels it along. The run continues. Diaz makes it 2-0. Immediate impact off of the bench. for the 21-year-old Brazilian. The Revs add to their lead, and it's 2-0.
New England goal scored by number 39, Marcos Diaz. Goal scored in the 54th minute.
Look at the pass, though. And Diaz was able to find himself in some space. And was able to put it through. It's his 7th goal of the season. That was terrific passing. And the goal scored by Diaz, who just walked on the pitch moments ago. It's his 7th goal of the year and his first since he scored against Crown Legacy on July 12th. And it's a 2-0 lead. 14th time this season that the Revs have scored multiple goals, and they are almost unbeatable. 10 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws when they score multiple goals this year. Finello down, and now the mountain steeper now for the Union. Bodies tumbling against each other, and it is a foul whistled against Peyton Miller. Panayutu gets credit with the assist. His 2nd of the season for Panayutu. And here comes the set piece now for the Union. That is a well-struck ball in the header. Just like that as well. Chris Donovan spiking it out of play. Here it is again. That was a really well-struck ball. And Donovan just couldn't angle that one away from frame. Ball out of the reach, and Tucker, the benefactor. Where's the Union go now? No space over there. Overlapping run from Westfield, not picked out. Only wide left. Raffanello crosses Westfield. Olney. Pisano puts an end to that. He wants to mount the charge. Adebayo Smith spinning. Bolma to it. Now we get another whistle. With another man down in the box. This time it's one of the Union players. Tucker gets the assistance. And here's another look at that last sequence. This cross coming into the 18. The long. There is Tucker going down. Souza stepping in front. Spoke with Marcelo Santos, the assistant. And he emphasized, when you talk about development, there's obviously a priority on that aspect, but it is important to find ways to win. Because you can sit there and talk to a player as much as you want about being in the playoffs and what the atmosphere is like and what you can expect being in games where it is win or go home. But when you attain a playoff position, it no longer becomes an imagination, it becomes reality. And that becomes the new bar for the group as well to reach the postseason. Bolma was looking at Adebayo Smith, trying to return the favor of Adebayo Smith's assist on the Bolma goal in the first half. And Bolma, like he was bailing out of the way perhaps a little too much. Bolma in the 40th minute. Diaz in the 54th minute. Revs, too, have scored multiple goals against the Union for the third time this season. After not doing so last year in 3 meetings. The Union took 2 out of 3 a year ago. And it's the Revs looking to win all 3 this season. Here in the 60th minute, New England leading at 2-0 on a dominant run of form. A team that hasn't lost in 70 days. With our entire MLS Next Pro crew, I'm Michael Watrank. Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday evening. Ball caught by Campuzano. Well, there's been space for New England in any attacking position at this point. The Union sitting just outside of the playoff perch. Hoping for help from around the league at this point. Trailing at 2-0. Look at Fry with the strength and the ability, but can't hold on to it quite long enough. Switches fields. Bolma taps it down. Nestles for Diaz. Bolma retreats. Rams will be more than content, but holding on to possession here. Quinones. Running start here for Panayutu. Nobody comes to get Bolma. Has choices to make. See that he probably prefers that right foot. Consistently looks to curl in. Adebayo Smith makes the run. Ray comes out to haul it in. Adebayo Smith tied for 5th in the league in terms of goal scoring. Marcelo Santos said, fun to watch, tremendous pace, hard worker. And that is one of the top goal scorers in MLS Next Pro. MD Myers is the top with 16. Adebayo Smith with a dozen. Here's Tucker bending this one in. Campuzano sure-handed. The all-time leader in Pittsburgh history in goals against average. Pitching a shutout here this evening, looking for his 4th of the season. This portion of the match is brought to you by Bimbo Bakeries USA. Up. Diaz. Souza hooks this one in. Bolma making the run, and Westfield the first to it. Thumbs up all around that time. The defense of Westfield keeps this at a 2-goal differential, and a corner kick coming. 4th of the night. The first 3 were all in a short sequence.
New England third substitution,
New England making a change. Noble Okello is coming in. And he is going to replace Jake Rosansky. 22-year-old from Toronto. He's the 3rd new player to come in. And one of the subs have already rung the bell tonight. Diaz scoring 2 minutes into his shift. And now Adebayo Smith and Magana having a conversation, and now Okela is in there as well. Okelo's 6 feet 5 inches tall. Prime chance to get him into the mixer now here on this corner kick. And another whistle before Pene Yotu can kick. Now he's ready to go. Doesn't hit it very well. Let's get a second crack at it. And this one much better on the surface. And a foul whistled on Malcolm Fry. And the Union are going to use this chance to make their changes.
Union 2 substitutions leaving the match, number 8.
Stefan Stojanovic
Entering the match, number 98.
joins Nelson Pierre on the field. Tucker and Donovan see their shifts come to an end.
Substitution leaving the match, number 25, Chris Donovan. Entering the match, number 23, Nelson Pierre. Substitutions occur in the 65th minute.
Two more changes. The first two made by Marlon LeBlanc here tonight. Long ball sent in. Raffanello sends it out for Pierre. Pierre has scored 4 times this year. 19-year-old from Kenya. Stojanovic has scored 8 times this year, including 3 in the last 5. So these are the goal scorers that the Union can certainly lean on. Now can they get one back? Campazano watches that one out with a leaping effort. 2-0, most dangerous lead in the game. And all eyes shuffle their way over to this Philadelphia side. The goal is to get one in the next few moments and make this thing a sprint to the finish. Fry accelerates. Fry gets space, but the flag up. We'll wipe that one away. That was extremely well played. And work defensively. This has been the case much of the night here for the Revs. They've dealt with some pressure on several occasions tonight, specifically in that first half. But they have handled things with aplomb all night. Adebayo Smith finds himself in space. Fry surveys. Tries for Bulma, but out of his reach. Good work by Miller. That's that growth that Marcelo Santos was telling us about. 68th minute. It looks like more changes for Philadelphia, standing along the sideline. Waiting for their opportunity to get their number called. New England this year with 6 clean sheets on their ledger. Found himself in space. That was a nifty little throw in. Now wide right, Fry sprints. Malcolm Fry. Excellent save by Rick. That's exactly what you want out of your subs. And We are seeing it with so many different options for New England. In a tight angle here, Rick with a save. He's been called upon so frequently of late, and this, much like all the others that he has over the last couple weeks, he's come up with saves time and time again. So here we go on another corner, 5th one of the night. Hooking ball, high arcing as well. Souza. Okello. At 6 feet 5 inches, towers over everybody. But can't hold on to it long enough. Campuzano will come out to play this ball back up the yard. To appreciate what you've seen from the Revs tonight. Been so tight, tidy, effortless. Bulma sprinting. And the 0-2 gets it back from Quinones. Good defensive work, stepping up. Legwinick fires it forward for Pierre. Along this right side, it won't have the pace to get out without a little bit of a tussle required. This portion of the match is brought to you by Subaru of America. And changes indeed being made.
Union 2, third substitution.
Alex Perez and Boubacar Diallo come in, and it's Rojas and Olney that take a seat on the bench as their shifts come to an end. Here in this 72nd minute. Some fresh legs for the Union. Gotta find a way to get one back here in the next 5 minutes or so, you would think, to try to make things interesting. The Revs have been in control through much of the night. Really the first, I would say, 25 minutes or so. Maybe it wasn't the case. It was the Union. Now we're the attackers. Fry watches this one go out. The ball's one too far for him to get to. You talk to these coaches. Talk about the need to develop their technique, their skills, their knowledge of the game, and part of that comes into, in New England's side, how do you play with a lead? How do you handle a match at this point? Fry has chased. The defense able to recover, though, for a moment. For the Union, how do you respond? You have to find points. What do you do to try to flip the script, get something back? Can you have a brave run? Can you have a consistent moment in a build-up, maintaining possession that potentially leads to a game-changing play? Union have lost back-to-back matches. Adebayo Smith has it for a moment. Comes right back for Bulma. And Ayotu is fouled. That's going to set up a very dangerous moment here for the Revs. Who wants to take this one? There's 3 men over the top of the ball now, and you can imagine that they all want a piece of this. As you take another look at the reason why it is a foul. Diallo arguing that maybe there wasn't a lot there, but J.C. Griggs was standing right there. It'll be Bulma. Panayotu. And Diaz all over the top. Panayotu! Just over the top of that crossbar as it wrinkles the top of the netting. That's a pretty good look. It certainly looked like he had Rick beat. Quarter hour left in this one. It's a 2-0 lead for the Revs. Thanks to a Bulma goal in the 40th minute, and Diaz 2 minutes after coming in as a sub, striking in minute 54 for New England. And a group that now has not allowed a goal since facing off against Atlanta United on August 13th, 2 weeks ago in a 5-1 win. That ball spiked in, and Westfield answers. Here's Diallo. Castillo gives chase, flicks it in. Okello might have something to say about his defensive work in the final 15 minutes. The last time these clubs met, not too long ago, back in the end of May, in this facility, it was a 2-goal lead for Philadelphia. And New England came out with a vengeance in the final 15 minutes to win the match by a final margin of 4-3. Scoring in the 82nd minute, the 75th minute, and the 2nd minute of stoppage time to stun Philadelphia. Is it the Union's turn perhaps to flip that script and pull off the stunner of their own on their home pitch? Castillo getting help to the sideline. It'll be Campuzano to restart things. You're in the 79th minute. Shots are 9 apiece. Expected goals fairly similar, 0.88 for Philly, 0.99 for New England. But Bulma and Diaz have found found themselves in good positions. The Bulma goal was highlight caliber all the way around. Adebayo Smith with a pass, basically the width of the field, bending around two defenders. Bulma 2 touches and a brilliant strike into the upper right-hand corner. Diaz worked a couple passes as well and found himself with 2 defenders near him and was able to chip it right past Rick for the goal. The Revs make it a third in this one. It's a good turn here from Vasquez. Pass out of the reach of Pierre, maybe a little bit more ambitious than it needed to be as well. Ball goes out. This portion of the match is brought to you by WSFS Bank. Revs have outscored their foes 17-8 with 4 clean sheets. 3 clean sheets, rather. During their 9-match unbeaten run. A foul whistled, that'll give the Union a free kick chance. Tonight, multiple goals yet again. 5th time in the last 10 that they've put up at least 2. Prior to being shut out at Toronto last week, they put up 5 in back-to-back matches. Is this a moment where the electricity jolts through the Union? Raffanello, Campuzano the first to it with 2 hands, punches away. Stojanovic. Perez buried in the corner, and he's the last man to touch as it goes out. Throw-in coming here for the Revs. The Union lost their first 3 matches of the season, rebounded, had put themselves back in the picture for a playoff position. They'd won 5 of 7 prior to a home meeting with FC Cincinnati on August 13th. They'd lost 2-1 and 5-2 in the last 2 matches, looking to avoid a 3-match skid for the second time this season as they battle for the final playoff position in the East with 4 matches to go. Quinones. Here's Diallo. Raffanello. He's had a good match. Had a shot that was saved and hit the crossbar in the first quarter hour. Has been fairly quiet since the first half. Defense will be challenged here for the Revs. That ball chipped. Campuzano has to retreat. Miller gets out of the way and watches him catch it. .245 minutes since the team last scored against New England. That was a 19th minute goal against Atlanta back on April 13th. Diallo. Raffanello. Oh, that is cheeky as well. Stojanovic sends it well out. Nearly a beautiful overall sequence. Lozano will reset here. And time will continue to wind. And the Union down 2-0. Adebayo Smith trying to put this thing away. Magana can't hold on to the ball. Fry has it. Well, one of the best teams in the league this season, the Revolution, playing their best soccer at this time of year. They're one of 3 teams in the league that clinched a playoff berth through match day 23. Stopping, starting, Fry to the touchline. Fry. Adebayo Smith, the only man in there. Adebayo Smith has scored in 7 of his last 12. And this team almost unstoppable when he does score. He's got an assist tonight, his 5th of the year. And Bolma, who started the scoring back in the 40th minute, feeds Diaz. Wide right, the ball goes. Fry. Now a running start here for Nelson Pierre. White jerseys gather around. Pierre hoping for reinforcements. Instead, Peyton Miller takes it off of his feet. Now Bolma surges. Bolma gets to the right foot. Bolma, a delightful run, maybe one touch too many. Diaz measures! Diaz closes it out! 3 points firmly in the pocket of the Revs. A brace for the substitute. And a 3-0 lead. Bolma searching, hunting. Defense unable to clear. And Diaz watches Adebayo Smith get out of the way and pelt one through. How about the performance for Marco Diaz, now up to 8 goals on the season. Well, changes for both sides coming up. So it's Benawashi and Santiago Suarez coming in for the Revs, and Sal Olivas coming in for the Union. Vasquez coming out for the Union. Long ball sent forward for Fry. Stojanovic plays that out. And frustration for the Union here tonight. After a solid start to the match. And despite being on level terms in terms of shot attempts, just unable to find the back of the net. And then defensively getting a little bit wide open. Certainly you can argue at points in this match that the reason why there was some empty space is because Philadelphia tried to surge forward to try to pull equal. So not completely on their defensive shape. Stojanovic. Hello comes back with a steal. In the 89th minute we go. New England leads it 3-0. Diaz a brace in the second half as a sub. Michael Watrang and our entire crew taking you through the finishing touches of tonight. The foul is whistled on the Revs. Free kick coming for the Union as we strike into the midnight hours. 90th minute of play. Looking at the live match table, the Revs 4 points shy of Crown Legacy, with 3 matches to go. Ball bent into the box, nodded out, swung through and spiked out a play by Alex Perez. Be a home match for the Revs on September 1st, and then visits to Orlando City and then Crown Legacy to end the year. Will that final match of the season be for home playoff positioning and the #1 seed in the East, or will Crown Legacy have wrapped it up by that point? We'll have 4 minutes of stoppage time to tie things up tonight. Joshua Boma opened the scoring in the 27th minute. Or check that, the 40th minute. He hit the crossbar in the 27th. It was his second goal of the season. It was 1-0 at halftime. In the 54th minute, on his second touch of the match, Marcos Diaz was able to clip one past Rick. Added one in the 86th minute and has swelled this advantage to a 3-0 tally. And this would hold as the largest victory in a clean sheet performance by the Revs. Fry. Good defense by Castillo. Fry gets back to it. And a foul indeed is given as Fry goes down. Another glance at that last sequence. Fry looked like he had a little bit of space. It was good initial defending, but the second time through, the foul shown. Crown Legacy 1-1 in full time and a 3-1 PK shootout over Toronto. Otherwise, the deficit could have been just 3 points in the East. Instead, it sits at 4 right now. Diaz readies. Okello shoving with Macanya. Doesn't matter as this ball's bent in. And Awashi, like he was going to have a good look at that, just doesn't get anything on it. Halfway through stoppage time. Raffanello had to wait for it, eventually comes up with it. Sways around Diaz. Suarez. Can the Union take anything out of this match? With maybe a late goal. Into the 18 it goes. Olivas got to it first. Okello sends it out. It's spiked up towards the middle of the field. And a throw coming for the Union. The hottest team in the league, New England, on their way to their 10th consecutive match unbeaten, and the string will run to at least 75 days unbeaten. Now, last loss came on June 18th. That is the last loss in regulation. A 2-1 setback at FC Cincinnati 2 in the Queen City. This ball headed well off frame by Pierre. And Huntsville will come to town. Most recent meeting between the clubs was 0-0 draw And a 5-4 PK win for the Revs. Meanwhile, Philadelphia will turn their sights towards a road trip next Sunday at New York. 5 p.m. kickoff for that one. A masterful performance put together tonight by the Revolution. Pierre curls it into the 18. It is flicked on. Campuzano saves. Secures the clean sheet for the time being. Diallo. And it goes out for a corner. That was a delightful save from Campuzano. The header came on here from Olivas. Campuzano with a great save. Ball flicked down and out. Is it another corner? Doesn't matter. The whistle blows, and that wraps it up. New England has rattled off a 10th consecutive match unbeaten and a 3-0 win over the Union. And a masterful performance this evening. And the hottest team in the league, the longest active unbeaten string in MLS Next Pro, hits double figures. Tonight's man of the match is Marcos Diaz from New England Revolution, the 21-year-old Brazilian, on his second touch of the match. Scores, and then adds the third goal of the night here in the 86th minute to finish it up. Presented by Adidas, Marcos Diaz from New England is our man of the match tonight. And a great performance by the Revolution. They sweep the regular season series, taking all 3 against the Union. The final score tonight, 3-0 for our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew. I'm Michael Watrang saying so long for now, where New England takes down Philadelphia 3-0. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. We'll talk to you again later. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.